Hello everybody and welcome to part 7 of What If Midoriya Was a Werewolf. If you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, there will be a link in the description below and in the annotation above to the previous episodes. If you still enjoy the series and want me to do more, let me know by either hitting that like button or by leaving a comment down below. Because, well, YouTube. If you have any suggestions of any kind, leave them in my Discord server. Link to that in the description below. I really want to get you guys to engage a bit more there since there aren't that many people. In the previous episode, Midoriya went to his internship under the Pro Hero Manual, along with Ida. Like in the main version of events, the attack on Hosu happened. During this time, Ida took the opportunity to go searching for the hero killer. He found him and got bested by Stain, but Midoriya showed up to save the day. He got there as Ida was being attacked, making him go full wolf in order to stop Stain. Now, after the internships are over, the students return to class. Upon entering class, Midoriya hears everyone talking about the internships. He looks around, seeing Ida, who looks away. Midoriya then takes a seat, waiting for class to start. After she finishes talking about her internship, Tsuyu sees how they are acting and goes to Midoriya and asks, "What happened?" Midoriya answers, "Not much. We were kind of in the middle of the Hosu incident," and Kaminari interrupts, saying, "That's right, when they apprehended Stain. That guy's pretty cool, you know?" Yura says, "Maybe you shouldn't say that in front of Ida, you know, with his brother and everything." Midoriya continues and says, "As I was saying, we were there, and he went searching after Stain to fulfill some vendetta. I don't think I'm his favorite person right now, since I did stop him from doing that." The bell rings and Kirishima says, "All right, time for some hero training." The students then go to meet All Might at All Ground Gamma. All Might says, "I am here. Hope you are ready to return to our lessons. Today, it's Hero Basic Training. Feels like I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. Now then, listen carefully for what's in store. We're going to be conducting a little race. Take everything you've learned from your internships and apply it to this rescue training." Ida raises his hand and asks, "If it's rescue training, then shouldn't we be at the USJ instead?" All Might responds, saying, That facility specializes in disasters. As I said earlier, this is a race, so prepare. You're about to step into Field Gamma. Inside is an area full of factories that form an intricate labyrinth, so good luck finding your way around. You'll be competing in groups of 5. Each person starts from a different location on the outskirts of the model city. I'll send a distress signal and you do what you must to rescue me. Whoever finds me first wins, but try to keep the property damage to a bare minimum." Bakugo scoffs and says, "Why are you looking at me?" All Might says, "All right, first group, get to your places." In this case, the first group, as in canon, is Midoriya, Ojiro, Mina, Zero, and Ida. While the students get into place in the stands, everyone starts taking bets on who will win, as they do in canon. In this version of events, Midoriya doesn't do very well. He maneuvers how he can, but he doesn't have the space or the ability, so he doesn't get far. And Zero wins the race. After the race, Midoriya tries to talk to Ida. Approaching him, he says, "Well done in the race, Ida." Ida turns to his friend and says, "Thank you, but maybe giving me some space right now would be a good idea." Midoriya says, "Got it," in a pessimistic tone. They then continue watching the next few sets. After these events, some time passes, with the final exams approaching. During this time, Ida gets over the whole thing, and he and Midoriya rekindle their friendship. At this point, there is only 1 week left until the final exams. In the classroom, Aizawa says, "All right, that's it for class today. There's only 1 week left before your final exams begin. I'm sure you're all studying consistently, right? Don't forget to keep training. The written exam is only one element. You also have the practical portion to worry about. Good luck." And he leaves the classroom. The moment he does, Ashido and Kaminari in completely different tones say, "I've barely taken any notes this semester." As Ashido starts laughing, Kaminari Ward says, "With the sports festival and the internships, I didn't have time to read a textbook." Tokoyami says, "It's true that we haven't had much free time lately." Sato says, "We barely learned anything when we took our midterms, so they didn't seem so hard." Midoriya tries to put his classmates' minds at ease, and Yaoyorozu offers to tutor them, so the study groups quickly form. They then all go to lunch, where they learn that apparently the students will be fighting robots. The next few weeks pass rather quickly, and all the students spend their time studying and training very hard. The 3 days of the written exams come and go. Now all that's left is the practical portion. However, a few days ago, the teachers gathered to go over how they'll work one more time. Nezu says, "With the connection between the hero killer stain and the League of Villains, it's possible criminals everywhere will become more bolder." Snipe says, "It would be best if we could prepare for that before it happens. As a school, we should be taking every precaution. If fights against villains are going to continue to intensify in the future, then having the kids train against robots ain't logical." The teachers then decide to use themselves as the exam's opponents. Aisawa says, "Right, let's talk about the teams then. First we have Todoroki. He's doing quite well, generally speaking, but relies too much on his ice power. Because of his father, he doesn't use the fire. This makes him very sluggish in combat when he overexerts himself. Bakugo is a great strategist and has the firepower to back all the threats he makes, but can't cooperate with others, especially if they all show more promise than him. They both have quite the firepower and a lot of potential. I would suggest having them face off against All Might. If they manage to communicate correctly, I do believe that they can beat All Might with using all their power, at least if he doesn't use all of his. They can be a force to be reckoned with together, but need to overcome their individual flaws." Next is Yaoyorozu and Midoriya. They are both strong and strategic, although ever since the internships ended, I can see that their motivations have gone down. I'm sure that they have their reasons, but they need to push themselves further. If they manage to build an understanding with one another, then they can beat the exam. The plan is for me to erase her quirk. Since Midoriya is a mutant type, I won't work on him, but a different tactic will be used. I'll restrain him. Everyone says sounds good, and they continue the meeting. I'm not going to do all of it because it would take a bit too much time, and I think it would get a bit too boring anyway. Just know that the matchups will be different, and I'll be explaining why I chose the ones I did. The day of the practical exam arrives. Students gather at the center plaza of UA along with Aizawa and a bunch of heroes. Here the teachers explain that the students will be fighting them instead of robots, surprising the students. First, let's get the matches that are the same as in canon out of the way, so we can leave the interesting ones to the end. The first match is Red Rider and Sugar Rush against Cementos, which goes the same as it did in canon, with both of them failing. This fight stayed the same because I think it's a perfect matchup, with the teacher trying to get the students to overcome their most glaring weakness, which is them not thinking ahead, so both students fail. The second match is Pinky and Charge Bolt against Nezu. This one, again, goes the same as in canon, with Nezu outsmarting them, blocking all their paths to the exit from a distance. Both students fail. The third match is Anima and Earphone Jack against Present Mike. This one again goes as it did in canon. The reason I'm keeping this fight is because, again, the matchup is perfectly logical, and I see no reason to change it under the new set of circumstances. Both students pass. The fourth match is Invisible Girl and Tentacle against Snipe. Again, this one goes as in canon, with both students passing. Okay, that's it for the ones that stay the same. Now I'm going to go for the less interesting to the most interesting story-wise. The fifth match is Grape Juice and Tailman against Midnight, and takes place in the mountain area. The exam starts and both students decide to head to the gate. However, not too far from the gate, they find that Midnight is waiting for them. While licking her lips, she says, "My, what mean boys you are making me wait like this." Ojiro jumps in, hitting her with his tail, wanting to disable her quickly. Mineta sees an opening and starts throwing his balls at her, wanting to trap her, but she blocks them with her whip. Before she can reach them, any can reach her. She says, "Both of you got some spunk. I like it." She rips out a bit of her clothes from her arm, with her quirk activating and enveloping the air. Ojiro, being close, falls asleep. Mineta tries to resist and run away, but Midnight manages to stop him, so he eventually falls unconscious too. Both students fail the exam. The sixth match is Tokoyami and Aoyama against Ectoplasm. In the same place, Tokoyami fought him in canon. The exam starts. Tokoyami says we should probably search for the exit, but be prepared to fight if it comes up. Unlike the others, we have to prepare to fight the same opponent many times before we can defeat him. Aoyama nods and they continue on their path. They reach the exit area, but there are many opponents between them and the actual exit. Tokoyami summons Dark Shadow to fight and leaps into action with Aoyama as support. There is a problem here though. The light that Aoyama's lasers are creating is weakening Dark Shadow, which causes Ectoplasm to get the upper hand in battle, taking out Tokoyami. After that, Aoyama is easy enough to take care of. Sadly, both students fail. I paired these two because they are a bad combination, since Aoyama and Tokoyami's quirks seem incompatible. I feel like in this version they would want Tokoyami to develop Dark Shadow to be stronger during the day. The next fight is Zero and Ida against 13 in the USJ. The match starts and they try to run out the gate using Ida's speed, but 13 is waiting at the gate and she uses Black Hole to pin both students. Zero manages to maneuver around the quirk, however, getting close to the gate. 13 pays attention to him, who has taken some distance from Ida. Not wanting him to reach the door, she turns her attention at him, leaving Ida free. He takes the opportunity and charges at her with full speed, knocking her over, using his Recipro Burst. Zero takes the opportunity and passes out the gate. Both students pass the exam. The idea here is that both of them are mobility based, and 13 can pin them down easily with her quirk. They cannot rely on their mobility or maneuvering against her, so they are forced to find a different way out. The 8th match is Uraraka and Tsuyu against Power Loader. This matchup is made because I didn't have any other ideas left, and they are basically the configured leftovers. However, they do manage to win by making Uraraka float and Tsuyu moving her with her tongue. Kind of like a kite, pushing her out of the gate before Power Loader can catch Tsuyu. Both students manage to pass. The 9th match is Todoroki and Bakugo against All Might in Ground Beta. The exercise starts and as it does, Bakugo starts walking, wanting to reach the gate. Todoroki walks behind him saying, "We need a plan, Bakugo. We can't just win without one." A sound is heard, All Might yelling, "Smash!" Todoroki reacts, making a wall of ice to block the attack and stops the damage to the city, but the wall shatters. All Might then shows up saying, "Foolish heroes." They have a small skirmish with Bakugo going in for an attack but failing, and Todoroki trying to use his ice on All Might, but he just breaks through. Bakugo yells, "Use your flames, Icy Hot! If you don't, we'll lose." Todoroki argues, but Bakugo shouts, "Do it! If you want to be a real hero, you need to use your full strength. Otherwise, you'll die." Reluctantly, Todoroki activates his fire side, bringing up a lot of emotions. They barrage All Might with attack after attack, finishing with a huge explosion and Todoroki's special move, the Flash Freeze Heat Wave. They knock All Might down, and Todoroki freezes him over with an extra thick layer of ice coating. Both of them then run to the gate, winning the match. Yeah, I kind of already explained why these two were put together. I don't think they would put Bakugo and Midoriya together in this version because they're friends and synergize well together, so Todoroki was the logical choice. The last match is, you know who, Wolfie against Grady and Grady against Aizawa in what I'm going to call Ground Alpha, the residential area, because we don't actually have a name for that area. The two students spend the whole time the other students are doing their exercise strategizing, trying to come up with a way to beat Aizawa. It was mostly Midoriya, but he did notice that she wasn't adding anything, so he got her to spill out a plan, which they set into motion. Midoriya will act as a distraction in a fight while Yaoyorozu prepares to take Aizawa down. The match begins and they set the plan into motion. Once Aizawa gets close to where they are, Midoriya jumps to attack, clawing at his teacher, wanting to disable him. Aizawa uses his binding cloth and his surroundings in order to defeat Midoriya, and because of his speed and experience he manages to do it. But Yorozu already finishes her preparations. She throws a flashbang at Aizawa, blinding him. She then throws a small knife at Midoriya, cutting through the binding cloth, freeing him. When Aizawa opens his eyes, he sees Midoriya jabbing at him. He tries to evade, but Midoriya manages to do what he wanted, which was take the glasses. Aizawa then grabs his binding cloth, shooting it at Midoriya. But too late. Yorozu throws a powder bomb at Aizawa's face, blocking his vision as it hits his face. Aizawa, not being able to see, still puts up a fight, but the two students manage to disable him since he doesn't have vision, winning the match. Both students pass the exam. Now for why I chose this matchup, basically I still think that after the sports festival, Yaomomo would be very hard on herself and consider herself inferior to many students, so she needed a competent partner, like Toroki, who's good with coming up with a plan. The only person I couldn't think of at the time was Midoriya, so I chose him. Anyway, that's where I'm leaving it off for today. I do hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to leave a like. For more, if you want the next part, I'm going to say 50 likes. I'm going to start implementing some like goals for the videos to work. You know, if you guys want the series aside from that, you can always leave suggestions in the comments or in my Discord. I am sorry if you guys don't like the like goal thing, but I do need to see what series you guys want more than others. So yeah, I do honestly hope you enjoy this video, and until next time everyone, have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye!
Update もっと遠く